And the main funder, by the way, is the United States. It's the United States. I hear people constantly talking about how we should punish Colombia or punish Panama or stay in Mexico. That's all nonsense. The people that are talking about stay in Mexico policy have zero idea what's going on. It's like teaching calculus to somebody who doesn't actually know how to add yet. The United States is the one that's behind most of this. The main engine is something called IOM, which is actually most of the Border Patrol agents I talk with have never heard of the Darien Gap, and they've never heard of IOM. IOM is the International Organization for Migration. That's the main engine that is doing this, right? They are part of the United Nations. They have a big office down in Panama at the City of Knowledge. It's right on the Panama Canal, actually. And there's more than 5 dozen NGOs down there, IGOs and nonprofits. The main one is IOM. You can see people going through airports every day across the United States and Europe and Asia as well with IOM tote bags and that sort of thing. But IOM actually has probably the best office space in all of Panama. It's in Building 110 at the City of Knowledge. I was just there about 7 days ago. And it's right, they fly their flag. The City of Knowledge in Panama City used to be Fort Clayton. All the veterans of Panama know what I'm talking about. Fort Clayton was the U.S. Army South headquarters, right?
Right.
That's one of the most vital pieces of terrain on planet Earth. There's almost no place on planet Earth more important than that little speck of land that overlooks the Miraflores Locks, Panama Canal, the Panama Canal Railway, and the Thatcher Ferry Bridge. The Thatcher Ferry Bridge is the bridge for Highway 1 that goes all the way down from, the tip of South America up to Colombia. And then there's that gap. That's why they call it the Darien Gap, because there's a break in the road, which they're about to hook together. And then that goes all the way, that road, and Brett Weinstein talked about it on your show. Brett did excellent down there, by the way. And that man loves the jungle. But that highway goes all the way up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. And so that's a key highway. So you've got Panama, such a vital piece of terrain, because first of all, the Panama Canal, and secondly, the Panama Canal Railway is important, believe it or not, and that road, and Panama, just the location is vital. Now, we need the Panama Canal for trade, for one thing, but we also need it to get our Navy through, right? And so we're slowly losing Panama. The NGOs that are causing these invasions, like IOM, HIAS, Catholic Charities, and so many more, are also taking over governments. Now,
wait, may I ask you to pause for a second? It sounds like from your reporting that the NGOs and the UN are vital, like that this wouldn't be happening without them. So let's just pause, if you don't mind, and explain. You just mentioned 3. You mentioned the UN Agency for Migration, the one devoted to destroying the United States. What are the second 2? One was Catholic Charities, and what was the middle one?
Oh, there's at least 250. But in City of Knowledge, there's at least 62, 63. I've got somebody doing a study on them now. But the HIAS is one. That's the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. And that's actually, interestingly, Doug McGregor, whom you've had on your show, told me back when, he said, Mayorkas, Ali Mayorkas, Homeland Security Chief, was actually a board member on HIAS. So, and then he moved over to the Department of Homeland Security, which, recurses back to what I was just mentioning. These NGOs are working hard to take over various countries. For instance, HIAS, the board member, Mayorkas, went to take over Department of Homeland Security. Now, Mayorkas was down there in Darien. I got word that he was going in 2022, so I got in front of him, and I waited for him for 4 days in the Darien because I suspected where he might land, and he did. 4 days later, he landed in front of me, 4 Blackhawks. He went right into San Vicente camp, which I call China camp, and he was there with the Southcom commander Laura Richardson. He was there with also the ambassador Aponte and some others. And so basically, he was coming down there with fistfuls of money to increase the size of the camps and increase the flow through the camps. So I'll show you drone footage. Actually, I've already given it to your team.
Pardon my dumb questions, but why would the head of the Department of Homeland Security want to destroy the United States? Do you have any idea?
I can't read his mind, but I can read his actions. He's clearly
Yes.
doing it.